bitch slap this brat. Hello everyone and welcome back to a special presentation of Anime Club After Dark. I'm your host, Sho, and joining me tonight we have Alex Senpai.
I was going to make a joke about Thorkel, but no, I'm not going to do it. It's too cringe.
Lame. Get better at intros. You have high standards.
I'm so unused to having to do an intro.
Yeah, I know, because you're lazy. No, I'm joking. You're an amazing person.
That just completely 180'd, but okay.
So today we're going to be talking about the 16th episode of Vinland Saga. In this episode, ACAD abandons the village he pillaged because Thorkel is on his ass and he needs to skedaddle. So he on the run. So the first thing
don't
that I
fail
thought,
me now.
No, he's probably just gonna honestly, I don't know how these Viking people can deal with like marching through the snow. Like, I spend my whole day on my ass. I don't even move my pinky finger. I don't know why you would choose to be a Viking. I just don't understand that lifestyle.
They must have had fantastic shoes.
They must have like calluses for days.
Or just they never skip leg day because they're always marching.
Honey, pedicurist nightmare. The Vikings. Actually, it's so funny because like normally you'd think Vikings would be on their ass the whole day rowing, but apparently not. So apparently Vikings have to march as well. Anyways, we're still off topic. Anyways, what I found interesting about this episode, I'm not gonna recap everything, but I'm gonna skip straight to the scene to where ACAD and Bjorn are talking about ACAD's plan for Canute. And we talked about this in the last episode where we saw Ragnar die, and we were like, well, what's your plan now, ACAD? What do you think is going to happen to Canute? You think Canute's just going to man up all of a sudden? That's a little optimistic. And here we see ACAD actually bluntly verbalizing those exact hesitations that he doesn't know whether Canute is going to man up or he's going to, fall into depression. He's physically taking a gamble, which is very much like ACAD. But we know that ACAD has been losing a lot of his gambles lately. So what does this tell me? Canute suicide incoming? Yes.
Well, if that's the case, it will cease being anywhere near historically accurate. But ACAD in this definitely he vocalizes that he's making a gamble. It's really the first time he's said out loud that he's just blindly making a gamble, and even he doesn't know how it's going to turn out. Like, a lot of the times in the past, he may have said, "Yeah, I'm making a gamble, but I'm like 99.9% sure this is exactly how it works out." And this time he's like, "It's 50-50."
Yeah, like his usual gambles are we get a great outcome or we get a neutral outcome. But for this, you're looking at great outcome or you're
terrible
fucked.
Outcome.
Well, actually, if it was like the ACAD that is a plunderer, he would not be fucked because he's like, whatever, I'm just here for the money. But now we know that ACAD is like aiming for being the puppeteer behind the throne, then yeah, he's kind of fucked because it's an all or nothing. And if he wants that throne, it's a big gamble to take.
He also
safe.
fully admits to Bjorn during this exchange that he really has no interest in necessarily leading. He just wants to be behind the scenes, like almost advising the person who does lead. That's why he wants to find someone worth following.
Well, I don't think I see ACAD as a really good leader, and I was a little confused as that too. I'm like, why don't you just try to become leader yourself? But I don't think it works like that because I'm pretty sure you need a blood royal to take up the throne, and then I think his version of the plan where he's just going to be the puppeteer is the most viable version just because it's a monarchy.
It's the most viable version for him because he doesn't seem to have any kind of royal blood in him, at least not recognized royal blood.
Yeah, so, and also it would be, you know, without the royal blood, he wouldn't really be accepted by the rest of the Danes. So
yeah.
He needs a legitimate heir.
Not as a leader. I mean, he may be accepted by his men, but he's not going to be accepted as a leader of like an entire nation.
Yeah. Such is the way of a monarchy. We should
this
just
is
go
kind
back
of
to a
this is
monarchy.
kind of why we've given up on monarchy as a species mostly.
Hey, we still have the queen on our dollar bills. Joking, we don't have dollar bills. I live in Canada. So
you have
moving
loonies.
on to what?
You have
yes,
loonies.
We do have loonies and toonies.
That's the one with the hole in it, right?
None of our.
Or no, wait, that's
honey,
the one that's got two different
I'm
colors.
the one with the hole in it.
Ha.
But our coins don't have holes.
Anyway, that's here to talk about Canadian currency.
Wow, they're both winter themed topics. But back to Vinland Saga. So we get a scene of Askeladd and his men torturing the English captain of the troop that tried to attack them but failed. Oh my god.
Did you forget to turn your phone off, you motherfucker?
Hey, oh my god, I'm just so popular. Hold on. I just have to dismiss this prank call. But yes, that was a very graphic scene. First of all, there was like a shot of an owl or a bird like eating someone's ear, and I'm like, this is too much information. I don't need to see this.
That was a little like, ew. Why are you showing me this? But I mean, it makes sense in context.
I guess. And then we like have the nails ripped out, and then it's like, oh, let me cut off your nose. And I'm like, how about no?
So when he first said that, I thought he was just actually gonna like get the shears underneath his fingernail and rip his fingernails out. And I'm just, I don't know why seeing people's fingernails get ripped out it makes me it gives me a chill down my spine. But I thought this was gonna happen. Then I saw him just cut off fingers. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh, really? No. I thought he was gonna rip the nails out, and I'm like, oh, lovely. And then he just cuts off the finger. I'm like, that's worse. What are you doing?
I think I'd rather have my finger cut off than have someone rip out my fingernail.
Oh my god.
I don't know why, but just the thought of someone ripping out my fingernail just makes me, ooh, no.
Be careful what you wish for, Alex.
Whoa, no.
But yeah, I've talked about it in a couple episodes back, but yes, it's a Viking show. Yes, I wanted it to be graphic, but now that I'm getting it,
be careful what you wish
for. I'm a little hesitant. I'm a little scared of getting what I asked for. But you know, it was only a few episodes back where we had like a quote unquote graphic scene of Bjorn punching the old woman. So, you know, you're warming me up, honey. You're lubing me before you go straight into penetration.
Whoa.
Which
the fuck?
I appreciate someone who can, you know, yeah. So
I was really, be careful where you go with this analogy.
But, yeah, so it didn't come out of nowhere, but I'm slowly being warmed up to more graphic scenes. So you know what? You know, first I wanted graphic scenes, then I didn't want them, and now I want them again because I don't know. I don't know what I want, but
clearly,
apparently I want something, and Vinland Saga is giving it to me, so I'll take it. In addition to the graphic nature of this scene, we also learned that, we already knew that what is this? Oh, that the Celts originally owned or lived in the British Isles, and then the Anglo-Saxons came in and took the Celts' land away from them and pushed them to Wales. And Askeladd brings this up with this English captain as a justification for what the Danish are currently doing of driving the Anglo-Saxons, the Englishmen, away from the British Isles and just claiming it by force, which is an interesting logical argument or ethical argument, which I don't know if I support or not. Everything is fair in love and war, and I don't know if you believe that or not, Alex. Do you have any opinions on this subject?
I mean, I will say that by and large, the lecture, and it genuinely was a lecture that Askeladd gives while he's torturing this poor soul, about how the Anglo-Saxons essentially stole the land from the Celts who were already there. Didn't even just steal the land, stole them and pushed them away into like this far-flung corner of the island, and it's like, you stay here now. That's pretty much true to history. Kind of ignores the fact that Ireland exists, but okay. But as to the question of whether it's justifiable or not, it is an interesting moral dilemma, because the Danish are essentially doing the same thing to the Anglo-Saxons that the Anglo-Saxons did to the Celts, except they're not even really trying to give the Anglo-Saxons a chance to move anywhere else. They just want to kill them.
Well, I don't think the Anglo-Saxons were like, you can live here. I think the Celts just like fled away to where they could possibly be.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, it was essentially, live under our boot or die.
Yeah.
And they chose door number 3, which was go live in this little tiny portion of the island over here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand where the Danish are coming from. I also don't think Askeladd actually believes that this is morally justifiable. I think he's just using it as like a way to mock this English captain's beliefs. I don't think Askeladd actually thinks that this is a moral thing.
Oh, true. And you got to also remember he's half Welsh, and he doesn't really care or even particularly like the Danes that much. He's just using them as a way to protect Wales, or at least to in the future protect Wales.
Yeah. So I thought it was an interesting enigma. I don't have an answer whether it's right or wrong.
I would like to say that this is a question that's come up many, many times throughout history, though. I mean, you can say the exact same thing. How the British kind of treated the Irish for many, many years. How Europeans, when they came over to North America, how they treated the native population that was already here. I mean, this is kind of a question that's been repeated over and over again throughout history. So it's great. It's a great fodder for fiction to bring that up.
Might makes right.
Certainly when we're playing Civilization with you.
Hey, I love peace.
Lies. Damn lies.
Unless it's favorable for me, and then I will kill you. But back to Vinland Saga, I found this one particular scene very interesting. When the ear is his name, whatever, he's known as the ear. Notifies Askeladd that Thorkel's men are like on their way. Askeladd's like, okay, everybody, let's go. And then Bjorn is like, okay, we have to go get Canute. And then he like picks Canute up,
one-handed, mind you,
kicking and screaming like a 4-year-old. And then Bjorn plops him down on the cart, and Canute's like, I want my Ragnar. I'm not leaving without my Ragnar. And then Askeladd's like, bitch slap this brat right back into the Stone Age, which was only a few years before. And
a little further back, but okay.
And I just, that was like, they made that scene very dramatic. Like when he slapped Canute, the music got like so sentimental. It was just a lot happening, and it was kind of a little funny.
I kind of laughed. Well, I won't say I laughed. I chuckled a little bit too when I saw it. But I would like to say that this method of shutting someone up who's having a temper tantrum is very, very effective, because my mother did that to me once, and I shut the fuck up immediately.
Would you like to share how that's damaged you emotionally in your later years?
No comments. It's funny because my mom listens to some of these episodes, so.
Oh, Well then, hello, Mother Alex. You should have slapped your child harder. No.
Whoa.
I'm sure he would have liked it. So
I'm just saying it worked for me, and it clearly worked for Knut.
Oh my god.
At least it got him to shut up.
That's great. We should. Who needs a pacifier when you have the back of your hand? Am I right?
Who needs a pacifier
Parents,
when you have a
am
bitch
I
slap?
Right? Yeah. So another interesting part of this episode, shortly after the slap, was that some of Askeladd's men attempted to desert him. I believe like they were hiding in some hay. I'm not entirely sure. But Bjorn caught them and brought them to Askeladd, and Bjorn is like, these bitches were going to side with Thorkel. What do you want to do? And Askeladd's like, you can do whatever you want. I ain't your babysitter.
Ain't nobody got time for this.
To do. Exactly. And I think that is very smart of him. That's a very leader-like thing because you cannot force loyalty. If you force it, you're going to get betrayed.
Forced loyalty always ends in betrayal. Always.
Exactly. So by giving them the freedom of what to do, you make them think they have free will, but really if it's still in their best interest to go with Askeladd because, switching sides.
It doesn't look. It's not a good look for you.
Yeah, and we know later on in the episode that it didn't work out for them because Thorkel killed them and
straight up murdered them.
Honestly, okay, this sounds bad, but like I would do the same if I were Thorkel because like you can't trust someone who betrayed their leader when it became convenient for them, because then what if you bring them into your crew, they're just gonna betray you when it's convenient for them again. So like once you reveal yourself to be a 2-timing biatch, then no one's gonna take you. So you've thrown your lot in with Askeladd. You got to ride with him until you die.
So I actually have an interesting story about this, historical story. Back when Napoleon was taking over most of Europe in the 1800s, there was a group of Prussian soldiers that approached him on the battlefield and said that they wanted to switch sides and fight for him now because they thought that he was a better leader. And Napoleon just fucking killed them. He didn't let them join their cause. And when he was asked about it later by I think it was one of his lieutenants or another general in his army, he said something to the effect of, I have no use for people who cut and run at the first sign of trouble, because for first time they see trouble fighting for me, they'll do the same to me.
Exactly. Plus, it demoralizes your own troops because you're like, why are you letting the enemy in our own ranks? Plus, they could be spies. So, like, really not a smart idea.
I found it funny that Thorkel basically says the exact same thing that Napoleon said. It's like, I have no use for people who will cut and run. Because they'll do the same to me eventually.
Maybe it's a reference.
And maybe. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the mangaka who created Vinland Saga, because he seems to know a pretty fair amount about European history. Yeah,
so Askeladd was made a great choice by giving them free will, and Thorkel was also made a great choice by killing them. They're both like making very optimal tactical or strategic choices. And I like this, battle of the brains, who's gonna outwit who. I'm enjoying that.
I like the fact that Thorkel is being, because when we was first introduced, I thought he was just gonna be like, the raging Hulk muscle, like, Hulk smash, don't even think about it, just go in and kill everything. And he's kind of being portrayed, the more I see him, the more he's being portrayed as someone who, he has bloodlust, but he's also kind of smart in how he goes about it.
Yeah, he's definitely been playing the game very smartly. And I think that like that's consistently been through when we've seen him.
Yeah.
which is much more interesting when you have like it takes a smart writer to write smart characters, and it's much more interesting when the characters are smart. So I'm enjoying that. So even though they're both making smart decisions, we know later on in the episode that Askeladd does get caught, and Thorkel's men do catch up with him. And when the Thorkel's men like march over that hill and see Askeladd, there's just this ridiculous scene where Thorkel throws the spear down the valley, like probably like I don't know, like 5 kilometers down, and then fucking pierces through 3 men.
I thought that was fucking amazing. Just fucking turning his men into a shish kebab. Oh, that was so fun to watch.
That was very anime. That's not possible. I refuse to believe that's possible.
It may not be physically possible, and it may be very anime, but it was fucking awesome.
It was pretty awesome. I feel like in real life, the wind would blow it away if you tried to do that.
Maybe. I don't even think you could throw a spear that far.
Well,
no matter how strong you are.
Well, like, in giving it the scene the benefit of the doubt, where possibly there could be an angle of the valley where, like, it could technically just use gravity to go quite a long distance. But I still don't think that it would maintain its, like, perfect form. Like, it would just, like, start spiraling if it goes so far.
This is like some Inside Baseball anime edition right here. Very nice.
What does that have to do with baseball?
That's people who analyze baseball. It's like called Inside. But anyway.
Okay. I'm clearly not a sports person.
No, but you like sports anime, which boggles my mind. But yeah, I thought that scene was great. I mean, it just goes to show again how Thorkel is really bloodthirsty and he's insanely strong.
Yep. And right, or a few moments before Thorkel actually catches up, we see that, you know, the brothers in Askeladd's crew are planning to betray him. And then once Thorkel actually does catch up, they actually do surround Askeladd and are like, dude, I'm not following you anymore.
The jig is up.
Either you give up Canute to Thorkel, or you die here. And I'm like, I really, like, obviously this was coming for a very long time, but I really did enjoy the journey of slowly watching how like this happened over like
at
5
least
or
6 or 7 episodes.
Yeah, like a long time this built up slowly and slowly.
It's not like
and
he just
really
made one mistake and people were ready to drop him. He started to make several mistakes. People started to realize this might not be the right person to follow in this situation.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the slow build up to this breaking point. I think it was very well written.
It's the best way to show a coup.
Subtle.
You can't just show a coup happening after one mistake. You got to show it happening after several mistakes.
Yes. And, you know, I find it believable because also just because these people are Vikings, their primary motivation is, you know, self-aggrandizement, like maximizing your own pleasure, maximizing your own wealth.
Getting into Valhalla.
Sure. So, like, they're not super moral, loyal people. So it makes sense that when the situation arises, they're going to abandon their leader to go for the, you know, the situation that will grant them the best, you know, for themselves.
Yeah.
They're very selfish people. As we see, you know, they rip off a lot of other people. You know, they're eventually going to rip off Askeladd, their leader, when the time comes. So, it's very believable. Love the build-up. I want to see Askeladd get penetrated by all their spears.
Whoa.
Next episode.
Yeah, it was great build-up. I'm just so thankful to the writer for not just jumping right into this and giving us little hints here and there on the way to this. Like you said, the journey to this has been fun so far, watching it slowly spiral out of control.
Yes, it has been quite the delight.
Which amazed me because this is episode 16 and there's still several episodes to go. We got 24 episodes in this, what I'm hoping is the first season of Vinland Saga. So, and we're already to a insanely climactic battle that's shaping up. So I'm staggered to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, I have no idea where the story is going to go after ACAD dies, because he's clearly going to die.
We'll see.
Well, yes, we will. So thank you all out there for dropping in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed it, because we sure enjoyed bringing it to you. If you want to check out previous episodes of the podcast, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can join us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Shoot us an email if you have any questions, or if you have any ideas for topics you'd like us to talk about in the future. Links to all these things are down below in the description. I've been your host, Sho, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, Alex.
Thorkel makes me tall. That was terrible. Oh my god.
You really tried.
I tried. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at being... I don't have it all written down like you.
I don't have my outros written down. I'm just naturally flirtatious.
Oh my god.